McGraw in the Morning continues on the Big 550 KTRS.
More strikes, more people complaining, more picketing going on over fast food workers and their rights and their ability to make more money. That's what we're talking about, the daily wage and what to do with these people. Let's go back to the phones. Tim's on line 2. Tim, you're on KTRS Radio. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, McGraw.
Morning, Tim.
From what I can hear, or from what I can tell, they're wanting more money because they say they cannot support their families. Who's forcing them to work in fast food to support their families? Why do they not
you want them
seek other employment?
Well, I think the point is that finding another job is difficult.
Well, yeah, today that's what I'm hearing, but even on the same station I hear that there are employers who cannot find enough workers that are skilled that are out there.
Absolutely. And so, but these people cannot program software.
Get an education. There's so many programs out there that are available to people to get an education and actually be able to pay for it. See, my problem with the issue is they're not doing anything to, and this may be a crazy theory, to earn more money.
Well, first of all, that's a pretty general statement, Tim. There are people who have a child who were laid off from a good-paying job. A job was sent overseas. A job was sent down to Mexico. And so now they have to go back to school to get retrained. Well, now that student loans have doubled and gas prices have doubled, they can't get to work, they can't get to school, so their only job is to stay off welfare, to work in fast food. There are some kids who are actually who are working, 16, 17-year-old, who the minute they walk into the door, the mothers has their hand out for their paycheck to pay the rent. There are some people who are 32 years old. It's not a one-size-fits-all. And so to insinuate that they're doing nothing except sitting on their backside flipping burgers is kind of an ignorant comment, Tim.
No, I'm not saying they're sitting on their backsides and just flipping burgers. What I'm saying is to be paid more money. Okay, say they're working at fast food. Everybody wants to choose McDonald's, so we'll go with McDonald's. If they like the work but they don't like the pay, why don't they become an assistant manager or a manager to do something to earn the money instead of just giving it to them?
Well, nobody, I'm not saying you should give it to them. My point, Tim, is this, is if you pay people more money, right, like Henry Ford did 100 years ago, his costs actually went down.
I actually believe in that theory because what you had said earlier, it's not actually a better class of person. It's a better class of worker.
Yeah.
Because you have a larger pool. And with a larger pool, you get better workers, so your production is a lot higher.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I can see that as far as the higher, paying a higher wage, you get a better pool of people.
That's all my point is, Tim. I'm not demanding the government raise the minimum wage. I'm not demanding these. I'm saying, hey, let's look at this from a business point of view. Not to mention, look at Panera, look at St. Louis Bread Company, right? Look at Starbucks. St. Louis Bread Company has a store in Clayton that doesn't give you the price of your order. It gives you a suggestion. It says, your everything bag, your coffee is, that's the suggestion. If you can't pay it, we'll give it to you for free. They find that concept is people are paying more for their food. People who can't afford it are donating. Hey, you know what? Put $1 towards somebody who can't afford it. Starbucks says we have to raise the price of our coffee because we want to give health insurance to our workers. You have other companies that are saying, hey, you know what? We're going to cut all of our workers' pay to 30 hours a week. That way, we don't have to pay health insurance. Well, what's a better PR move? Starbucks doesn't seem to be hurting, and their workers seem to be working very hard because they know they got a good gig. Let's go to Fred on line 1. Fred, thanks for holding on. You're on KTRS Radio.
Good morning, McGraw.
Good morning, Fred.
Last night on the news, and I wish I could remember exactly what I was listening to, but I was just listening to it while I was making some stuff for dinner. But somebody was saying on there that they had done some research, nothing phenomenal, but the average age at McDonald's is not teenagers, it's 27.
Here are the latest.
A lot of them have a child that they're taking care of.
Here are the latest numbers from the Bureau of Labor Stats. The average fast food worker, men and women, is 28.
28. Well,
The average worker,
so.
right? The average worker is 28. For women, who 2/3 of the fast food workers are women. 2/3 of the fast food workers are women. That average age is 32.
I want to say one more thing.
Go ahead.
I would be willing to pay $1 more per hamburger if it went to the workers and not to the CEO.
Well,
To me, a good CEO would say, you know what? I'll forego $1 million of my $7, $8, $9, $10, $15 million salary. Give my workers a raise.
Well, I can only quote you this University of Kansas researcher that's out with this new study that says if you, and I mentioned this earlier, if you raise everybody's salary at McDonald's, double it. If you double everybody's salary from the $1 an hour worker, from the $7 and $25 an hour worker to the CEO who makes $9 million last year, if you doubled it, a price of a Big Mac, you would to stay even, you'd have to increase the price of a Big Mac 68 cents. So a Big Mac would be $4.67, and a dollar menu, everything on the dollar menu items, they would go up 17 cents. So there you go. 314-969-KTRS, 1-888-550-KTRS, or KTRS. Line 5. Anthony, you're on KTRS Radio and STLtoday.com.
Hey, good morning, McGraw.
Morning.
I'm going to tell you not one, but I just got a few things to say here because I listen to your station a lot, and I'm entertained by the different hosts, and I do listen to you because, at times, your talk is very entertaining, but one huge reason why I listen to it is because I hear how out of touch a lot of your listening base is. I mean, just totally out of touch with the community.
Well, Anthony, let me just stop you for a second. It's not the listeners, it's the callers.
Well, the callers, okay, callers.
Well, that's a difference.
Totally,
right. Go ahead.
Yeah, just totally out of touch with what's going on in the city. They only know what's really just going on from their block to block to block, and it just amazes me because in this day and time of where we're really truly having the have and the have-nots, fast food jobs are the have-nots. Everyone isn't a skilled worker, and in truth, let's tell some real truth about it. Everyone isn't educated to move up into those upper level positions, and also they're a little bit inapt to even be educated to move up to those positions. I mean, if you look at a lot of the people that work in fast food, all of them aren't young. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of people in their middle ages and up, and I mean, and it's not that they choose to. They do choose to work there. But one big key thing is they work there because it is a job. They say, hey, I got to work. We hear so many people complain about, people don't want to take these jobs because they don't pay enough, but these people are taking these jobs.
Let me also throw this at you. There are certain people who want to allow all these illegal immigrants to get some type of legal status so that they can work these no-skill jobs, so they can keep these wages low.
Low, exactly.
Right.
And then people are not understand. Do you and I know you may know, but do people know what the corporate mantra is right now? Do they understand what the corporate mantra is? The corporate mantra is do more with less.
I know, but Anthony, my point in all of this was 100 years ago, Henry Ford said, Let me double the salary of my workers. And in actuality, what he found out was that his costs went down. If a fast food restaurant owner is listening to this and wants to take up the challenge, what would happen? They wouldn't do this because they'd be ostracized by everybody else in whatever chain he was in. But if you doubled the price of the workers and you raised the cost of your chicken sandwich, your hamburger, your french fries, your soda, whatever it may be, cents or whatever, I bet you'd have a happier workforce. You'd have happier customers. You'd have a cleaner restaurant, and I think profits would increase and your costs would go down. It happened to Henry Ford 100 years ago. Why wouldn't it happen today? Do I have time for one more? I have time for one more. Let's go to Don's on line 4. Don, you're on KTRS.
Morning, McGraw.
Morning, Don.
Love the show. Hey, I just got a quick comment. I'm all for doubling everybody's wages on a minimum wage, but let's eliminate tips, and we'd all come out ahead.
Tips or tip?
Grip.
Oh, yeah.
If we doubled their wages.
Well, when was the last time you tipped somebody at a fast food restaurant?
I always do. I do a minimum of 20%. If the
Wait a minute.
Yes, I do.
When you go into Wendy's, you tip the person taking your order?
No, I'm talking about the servers.
Yeah, fast food workers don't have any servers.
Well, okay. But no,
when
you're
you
right.
go through a drive-through and the person serves you your hamburger, you tip them?
No, I don't.
All right.
I'm.
You mean sit-down restaurants?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're not talking about sit-down restaurants, and that's a whole other argument. Do I have time for one more? Let's go to Jesse's on line 5. Jesse, you're on KTRS Radio.
Hello, how you doing today?
Hi, Jesse. Thanks for calling.
I agree with you. Raising the base pay of a fast food worker is going to help. But one thing that I disagree with is, let's say for productivity-wise, you've got Joe that's been there, and he's making minimum wage, and then you've got Joe's brother who's making $15 an hour, but they both produce the same. Unless the business puts enough help on to handle the amount of business, it won't work. It's like Walmart, for example. You go into Walmart, and they have the guy that's supposed to be in the garden shop unloading the truck.
Right.
And the guy that's supposed to be in
retail's a whole other argument, Jesse. But my point is this. We've all been to fast food restaurants where the service is terrible, the order is wrong, and they're not very pleasant to you. Imagine you walk into a fast food restaurant where the order's right, they're pleasant, and the restaurant is spick and span clean. That's what I get at my Subway every single day when I go there. I get a friendly smile, and I have no idea what $5 footlongs. I have no idea what they charge me. I go there because I like the people, and they're nice. And they're there every day. 9:52 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Warning.